And I think that's the hard part about our culture right now is that we went from, when you think way back when, the family was like the core unit of America. It was all about family. And now it's all about the individual. And family is just these people that are, extra weight, this burden that I have. And I think that's part of a lot of the issues that we have in our society is we're so wrapped up in the individualism that we forget that the core foundation of family and what that truly means.
And I think it starts at a young age. I know for a fact that my parents knew Mike's parents, and I couldn't go to Mike's house unless
Mm-hmm.
he knew his
Mm-hmm.
parents and my parents
Right.
knew his.
Right.
Um, that whatever that is not done anymore.
Mm-mm.
You don't have that foundation. I think I've gone to Mike's house for Thanksgiving a couple of times, or he's come to mine, and those traditions that we thought were so tedious are so necessary to keep the family a family.
Right. That connection. Yeah. Anybody else have anything to say before I ask my next question?
Rissa, you got anything to say, Rissa?
No.
Okay.
So then, with that being said, all of us have pretty much said that, our definitions of family don't necessarily align with our expectations for our actual family. So, what strategies have you used to protect your mental and emotional well being when dealing with unhealthy family relationships? Like, how
I
do you navigate that?
I would say I would say I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go in on this. Um, the deal with the navigation aspect of it is hard. I'm not gonna lie, it is hard. But then it's like open communication.
Mm,
And that's a lot of things that we don't do as a culture is talk openly about our thoughts and our feelings. And it's just like Lisa said, even though some stuff was said, nobody said sorry, we just squashed it.
that part.
Wow.
Mm,
While we squashing it, we ain't really squashing it. We just
right.
like we have like in order for something to fully be done, you got to be like, hey, this happened. Yeah, I don't like what you say. You didn't like what I said,
Right.
but we
Right.
still blood though. So you know what I'm saying. Let's come to that. We gotta address it, but we're in the presence of the avoidance of that conversation. And like the last our last podcast we did about men basically dealing with trauma,
Yeah.
and it's like talking about family dynamics and basically being able to deal with your emotions and speak internally or intellectually about your emotion and explaining yourself to people is hard for a lot of men because we haven't been taught how to do that properly. So when given the opportunity, the only thing we can do is avoid, pretend it doesn't exist,
Yeah.
punch something, hit something, rather than say, I'm feeling this way,
Right.
but we do, and again, like I said before, there's not a safe place for men to basically like even when they got their boys and even if they got their family, we're still programmed in our mind. It's not a safe space to mention your emotional issues. You got
Right.
you're a man. You're supposed to suck that up and keep it going.
Right.
And and while that is the aspect of us mentally, but in the backside, and it causes a lot of effects. Like Lisa was saying about her brother doing all the things that he was doing, that's a person operating from a trauma response where he doesn't
Right.
know how to properly express himself without feeling like, okay, we understand you mad, but talk, use your words, use your words, talk,
Right.
talk. And people don't, and a lot of men don't want to do that. And so having that conversation with your family, being a Haitian is like one of the things where you're trying to talk to them and it's like, oh, you trying to fight me, or you're trying to beat me, or you don't listen.
It's
Oh,
an
you
automatic
know,
defense. It's an
it's an
automatic
automatic
hostility.
defense. It's like you're not listening to me. Whether you have valid points or not, it doesn't matter. What I say matters, and that's all that is, and it's concrete. And unfortunately, when you come to people like that in family, the only thing you can do is back away, let them be. You mean you talk to them when you can. If the relationship is important to you enough, you're gonna still put forth a little bit of effort, but at the same point in time, it ain't gonna be as strongly as you would like it to be. Because for instance, what was that? A friend of mine was telling me how his dad was like, "Oh, how come none of y'all don't do this for my birthday? Do this for my birthday?" And he was like, "Pops, you didn't raise us to be celebrating birthdays, so now you
Hmm.
at an age where you want us to do that for you, but that was not something you installed in us. You didn't, you know what I mean? You didn't. Where and it's like." Like his trauma, he felt bad about it, but at the same point in time, now he's realizing as an older person, it's like you wanted that, but you want that what you see, but you can't. You don't know how to go about receiving it, and your kids
Right.
don't know how to go about giving it to you because they weren't taught that. So, in retrospect, to answer that question, how do you deal with it? It's trying to have that conversation. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be uncomfortable. It makes you run away. It makes you want to like scratch at the wall or do something, whatever. But you just gotta fight. You gotta fight the uncomfortable feeling of it
Mm.
and just go through it. And it's easier said than done. It's easy to say it than to actually do it. Because as you're doing it, your hands get clammy, your stomach is in knots, your throat's getting dry and everything, and then it's just all uncomfortable because you're acting in a way that you've never done before, and that's expressing yourself to a family member that they're probably one not going to respond well to because they don't know how to deal with it, and as you're trying to basically make that first step into making this change, they're not aware of it either, and they're either like not mature or not ready for that step either to be taken. So that's one thing I can think of, and then the other one is avoidance, which we know that doesn't help anybody because avoidance, we end up with situations where somebody dies and then it's like a lot of things were left
Right.
unsaid
Right.
because of pigheadedness and pride. And a lot
Lisa,
of
what's
things
that face saying?
I am raising a 9-year-old young man, and it's 2023, and trying to teach him to use his words, embrace the emotion that he's feeling at that very moment, and then react is very hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's
be-
it's
and I'm
2023.
no,
Like,
it's
how do you do that?
no,
Society.
I'm gonna tell you why it's even harder because what you're teaching him, because he's a boy, so what you're teaching him between you and him. But then once he leaves your space and he gets with the fellas who still operate in that same mentality, and that's where it becomes even more difficult because he's learning from you, but he's getting more influence from the male figures.
Now, I am not the ideal person to get this from, but I resort to violence first. I'm just going to be honest. Somebody pushes my child, I'm pushing their child. If somebody puts their hands on my child, I'm not talking about it. I'm putting my hands on you, and then we talk about it. You know what I mean? That's just the life that I live. But I'm trying to teach
Appreciate
him
your
to do
honesty.
better. My son is not a fighter. He's not a talker. He's not a fighter. He's the complete opposite. He will let you push him down. He will let you knock him down.
Mm.
He'll let you do those things. And then when he gets to the point where he's on the verge about, then he may do something, but he doesn't fight back.
Mm.
He won't use his words either. Society has taught us that when men
Mm.
communicate or articulate their feelings, they're soft.
They're the B words, or they're acting P. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You can't crying is not good, crying is bad, or don't bring them around people who look a certain way, or because he's going to end up acting or adapting to that environment. And it's like, it's a double-edged sword. Don't let nobody hurt you. Like, I still parent the same way my parents are. Don't get in a fight unless absolutely necessary, you feel threatened, but at the same time, don't lose. You know what I mean? I know y'all's parents have told you that. Don't come home with an L, because you're going to get the rest. I'm going to finish what you didn't start. You know what I mean?
Thankfully, my parents didn't tell me that.
Oh my gosh. Mine
But I've
did.
heard it. I've heard
Yeah,
it.
you've heard it. Mike, don't play you.
Oh no, oh no. Listen, in elementary school, that was one thing, but then when you got older and then they took it to they took what you I took what they said the truth, man. Them beatings at school, and I got home. The beatings for getting caught for getting beatings, man. I was just like, oh
Oh.
no, it's a double edged sword. I couldn't win for losing. It was like you told me to stick up for myself, but I didn't tell you to fight. That's the purpose of it. That's the whole thing.
Exactly. It's the double-edged sword.
Beating
Don't
for what you
fight.
just told me. I didn't tell you to fight. I didn't tell you to get in trouble. You're supposed to do it and not get in trouble. Huh?
Oh.
Yeah.
You missed that part.
All right. All right. So, PTSD. Go ahead. Anyone else?
But it is hard.